I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor unto the Most High. And today I want to talk about this show called the Squid Game, which is pretty popular right now. And just a little disclaimer: if you haven't watched the show yet, hey, don't watch this video because it's gonna be spoilers in it, and I'm gonna be talking about a lot of things that happened in it. Because as we all know that these movies that they put out, they have a lot of truth in them. There's probably more truth in these movies than in the actual news. And it was a few things that that I observed while watching the movie that I just wanted to talk about. So and if you watch this already, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. So as we all know, the show is about it's a bunch of people. And basically, what happened, in their life, they had, financial problems. A lot of them were poor. A lot of them owed debt. The main guy, the main character here that you see in the front, he had a bunch of, gangsters chasing him around because he owned up money, things like that. His wife was leaving him. She went off with another man and things like that. So basically, they had the opportunity to enter into this game, to win a large lump sum of money. I think it was 38 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, but throughout the game, if you fail a task, basically you get shot on sight. You get killed. So. Let's bring up the picture real quick. So the people that would kill you are these people in the red jumpsuits, that's carrying the guns. So basically, as you're doing these these tasks in the game, they're right there watching you. And if you fail, hey, they're gonna take you out right then and there. It's no time to say goodbye to your loved ones, this, that, and the third. It's over. But it was a few interesting things that that happened in the movie. So, all right. So those of you that watch this movie, that this guy, player number one. It was an old guy, in there participating in the games, and throughout the movie, you felt sorry for this guy. You felt sorry for him, because he was one of the oldest ones there. He was feeble. Nobody wanted to pick him. When it was time to do the the task, he would be a lot of the tasks. He would be sitting off in a corner, by himself. Because nobody really wanted the old guy on the team, because look, if you teaming up with somebody, these games are a matter of life or death. So you more than likely you wanted the strongest, the fastest, people. But this guy, the main character right here, he had a heart of gold, man. He felt sorry for the guy, and he was picking him up. He even asked him hey, bro, you wanna join our team? Hey, come rock with us, And it was times where, he didn't want to do it because it was he knew that, look, I possibly might die if I pick this guy on my team, But he just didn't want to leave him there, So he had a heart of gold, man, and lo and behold, come to find out, let's fast forward it kind of to the end. We find out that this old guy was actually the one. He was actually the one that orchestrated the whole thing. He was one of the elites. So basically, You know, the guy that was helping him out, or you know what, that was befriending him, you know, he ended up winning the whole thing. You know, he ended up winning the money. And after he won the money, he was pretty jacked up after it. You know, he didn't even spend the money. You know, he went a whole year. You know, after he got out, you know, at an arena, just drinking, living like a bum, because you know, he's seen a lot of people that he loved died, man. You know, and this old guy that he befriended, you know, he thought that he died. You know, he thought that he got killed in one of the games. You know what I mean? You know, he thought that he got killed, so he was jacked up. His close friends, a lot of his close friends, you know, they died in these games, man. You know, people that they form bonds with. So like I was saying, yo, come to find out, this old guy right here was one, you know, of the elites that orchestrated the whole thing. You know, because he contacted him after the game, you know, while he was on his deathbed, you know, and this is what he said. You know, so this is a quote from the movie, from what he said. You know, the guy was inquiring. I'm like, hey, bro, like, you got to explain to me what's going on. Like, yo, why'd you do this, man? He said, this is what he said right here. He said, if you have too much money, it doesn't matter what you buy, eat, or drink. It all gets boring. All of my clients eventually started saying the same things when we talked. Everybody felt that there was no joy in their lives anymore. So we decided to get together and started asking, what could we all do to finally have some fun? Oh, man. So this piece of crap right here was having fun. You know what I mean? Because he was bored. They orchestrated all these things because they were bored. They didn't have any joy in their lives anymore. I mean, he was part of that, you know what I mean? You know, that rich elite class, you know? So while everybody around him was dying, he was immune. You know, he was immune from death. You know? But nobody else knew that. You know? And you know, at the end of the day, you know, he still got what he wanted, man. You know, he got to have fun at the expense of others' death, man. You know, and you know, and part of the reason that this guy survived, you know, that was picking him up, was because, you know, he was the one that was orchestrating the whole thing. You know, I mean, this guy was being nice to him, man. You know, and remember what that pops in my head, what the scripture says, man. The devil disguised himself as an angel of light, man. This guy right here, I mean, he's a demon. He was a demon, you know. But people felt sorry for him, you know. They empathized with him because of his age, but he was a demon. You know, he was a devil. You know what I mean? Satan disguised himself as an angel of light, man. So, man. Now, when you go back and you look at all the you know, all the events, for example, there was this part, you know, where basically I'm showing you right here how much influence that this old guy had, and how he set himself up, you know, to be like, hey, no matter what happens, you know, or what was happening in the game, he was still in control. So basically they had a rule saying, like, look, man, if you guys vote, if the majority votes to continue the games, we're going to continue. If the majority votes to, like, hey, we don't want to play this game anymore, you know, let's leave. If the majority votes for that, hey, that's what we're going to do. So basically, there was a part in the movie where everybody was voting, you know, to stay or to leave. But the old guy, you know, and this is where you notice that nobody vote mattered but his, you know, because after everybody voted, he was the last one to vote, you know. He was the last one. So it ultimately came down to him whether he wanted to stay, you know, or leave the game, you know? It didn't matter about anybody else because he made sure that he went last. So it all boiled down to his vote, you know? And he ended up, you know, this is when they first got there, and he ended up voting like, hey, boom. He hit the button like, look, let's leave. So, you know, the players left the game, and you know, you could tell that, you know, when the main character, when he went back outside into the world, this guy, you know, this old guy met up with him at a convenience store. And you know, and you know, the younger guy, he was like, hey, yo, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? This guy was stalking him. He was tracking and monitoring him, you know, and surveilling him, you know, because he has the power to do so. You know, this guy has no idea, you know, but he was tracking him the whole time. They had, you know, and surveilling him, you know, playing these sick games. This was all a game to him, you know. You know, and at the end of the movie, he was telling him like, look, yeah, we voted to leave, you know, but you all came back on your own, you know. So this is kind of like, you know, what they do, you know, as far as the revelation method, you know. Hey, we tell you what's going on, you know. That's off our conscience, you know, because he was telling him like, look, nobody made you come back to the game, man, you know. But the reason they came back because like, look, life was so hard, you know, in the regular world with the debt and everything. So they came back for the money, you know. But the thing is, look, these guys move these pieces, man. You know, they orchestrate everything. You know, they move, they put things in position to where like, look, you know, it's so jacked up out there that these guys have to come back, you know. And then they be like, look, we didn't make you come back. We didn't make you do this, you know. So this guy was a devil, man. He was a piece of crap, man. You know, that had immunity for the games. He didn't want to suffer, man, like everybody else. It was all a game to him, man. It's all a sick game, man. You know, and this is what they do, you know. I mean, with this Sandy Hook shootings, 9/11, these are all sick games that they play out here. I mean, they're showing you. I mean, all these mass shootings, all these things that's orchestrated out here in this world. This is what they do, man. They're showing you in these movies. They're bored. Like the scripture says, these are the bases of men that's ruling. Oh, man. The basis of men and the border of wickedness, man. These guys are sick in the head, man. This is, you know, this was all a game to them, man. You know, but they had to have control over it, you know, and that's the thing. They love control, you know. Even when you look at you know, even the guards, you know, and that was in the game. Everybody was tracked and surveilled and monitored, man. You know, cameras in their room while they were sleeping. You know, they had to have control. You know. If they orchestrate some jacked up stuff, look, they want to be in control of it. You know. Oh man. So basically, like I was saying, you know, this guy's influence over the game. He had major influence over the game, you know, and no matter what happened, you know, while everybody else was dying around him, he did this just so he could have some fun, man. You know, just so he could have some fun because they were bored, you know. And that's the thing, man. You know, that's why the Most High said, like, hey, don't. It's gonna be hard for a rich man to enter in the kingdom, man. You know. You know, because a lot of these guys they know that the working class, men and women out here are what makes the society run. You know, because you can have all this money, but it's the little things in life that matters. Like, hey, who's gonna park your car? In valet. Who's gonna dry clean your suit. Who's gonna deliver your mail? These are the little things that matters, man. And they understand that. Because if they had all this money and nobody could doing these things, life would be miserable, man. So they understand that. Look, man, it's the people that make this joint move, man. But he caused a lot of pain. They cause a lot of pain in people's life. It's like this. Like the scripture says, "Hey, when the wicked is in power, the people mourn. But when the righteous beareth rule, the people rejoice." There was also another scene in there where, they were giving out rations, for them to eat, and they, and what they did, they cut the rations. They cut the people's rations. They was only giving them one egg and one water, and basically you find out through the dialogue in the movie they were saying like, hey, why are we only giving them one? Why are we cutting their rations? Because they wanted them to fight. They knew that like, people's gonna start fighting and taking each other's food if they cut the rations, and they wanted to see that stuff, man. They wanted to see it, and this just goes to show you, once again, that look, there's enough resources in this world to make sure everybody is satisfied, but they don't want that, because look, divide and conquer. It's all about maintaining their power, man. Because like I said, why would the Most High put us here and not have enough resources for us to live, comfortably? They're lying. And this is what they're showing you in the movie, man. They're spending a lot of money on what? Fake NASA, fake space missions. A whole bunch of other bull crap. Like this says in the scriptures, man. What do the rich man says? Let us have our voluptuousness, man. Let's enjoy the finer things in life. And so this movie represented the sick mind of the ruling class, man. Oh man, that's what this represented, man. And they did all this wickedness for paper money, man. And people's true character, came out, during these times. You saw the people that was noble and honorable, while they were going through these games, and you saw that it brought out some of the worst, the worst out of people, and that's what was really in them from the jump, But the main guy, the main character, that won everything, he showed that, look, man. He was a solid dude, man. Because even when he had a chance to kill his buddy at the end, he turned the money down. It's like, nah, forget about it. But I just want to show you that, man. That like, man, this movie, man, it represented the sick mind of the ruling class, man. This is true what they do, man. This is them right here. Where you had a few of the wealthy elites. They came to watch the games in person. And they were wearing mask, animal mask. And what does that remind you of? Hold up. On the left is a picture from the movie. But on the right, this is the actual picture of one of the Rothschilds when they had a little little party and a get together, showing you like, look, man, they put They put these masks on in real life and go to these, these freak shows and, watch people get murdered and things like that. You know, you know, they were sick, man. And they didn't want to watch, all the killings and things on TV anymore. They wish to let you know they had a live feed, watching it in their house. They wanted to actually come and witness it. At the actual location, So they showed up and they wanted the identity covered and things like that. This is what they do, man. So this movie right here, it's a lot of layers to it, but this is just what I just wanted to point out. That, look, man, that guy was a devil, man, in disguise. Disguised himself as an angel of light. And he didn't want to suffer the consequences, that everybody did. He wanted to be immune from it, just so he could feel alive, because he was bored. He got all this wealth and all this money, but you still bored. And that's why the scripture says, man, what shall it profit a man to gain the world and lose your soul, man? All that paper money and you still have no joy in life, and this is what they resort to, because a lot of them don't believe in the Most High, so they resort to wicked acts and deeds to satisfy themselves, and they're gonna continue to destroy the world, which is their job, until the Most High says, hey, no more. So this is what this movie represented, man. The sick ruling mind of the of the top echelon, so, rulers, man. So I'd like to give all praise and glory unto the Most High, and that was it, man. That was my spiel.